Hello, out in the garden on an incredibly windy but dryish day. We've got a bit of a food emergency, haven't we?
Yeah, you could put it that way.
So I want to put everything in perspective. The house hasn't fallen down, we haven't had a tornado going through, so you know, and we're fine. But we have had we've had a minor issue, which might actually be a major issue. So on Thursday we had a power cut in the house and I couldn't work out why it had gone wrong. So when Mr. J got home, he spent a while
flipping switches and
not working out what was going
on, and eventually there was one fuse that when he switched it on, it tripped the house.
Yeah.
So everything in the house was working.
Yeah. Except for the barn that we're standing in now, and when we put the fuse on for this area, it blew everything again. So we knew there was a problem out here. We came out, had a look round, no, everything just looked fine. It looked okay, except for the power wasn't coming on. Still couldn't quite understand why. And then just at the corner of my eye, I saw this sort of glint of water. But in this room are freezers. Freezers really don't like standing in water.
There's one of them behind us here.
And there's one down here. They don't like standing in water, and so although the sockets were up here at this level, obviously the electrics were underwater. So they went bang. So I've ordered a new freezer.
Which will be living indoors with us somehow.
Yeah, but that won't be here for a couple of days or 4 days. And in the meantime, the food in the freezer really needs to be moved. So what we're doing right now is we're going to do one freezer at a time. Our neighbours have really kindly said we can put things in bags, take them up and store them as an emergency in their freezer. And I'm also going to be cooking up a whole load of food. There was an awful lot of fruit in this freezer to make wine with, so I'm actually going to do that now.
Yay!
Erica has very kindly popped over and brought me a whole load of spare demijohns, so we can just make masses of wine, get that on the go, which will reduce the amount of fruit in the freezer. Yeah. Here we go. Oh, it's not defrosted, so that's all really good news. So I can see. Do you want to pop it up? So I think what we're going to do is defrost the freezers and then put them up on bricks in the hope that when they dry out they'll work again, and that if there was another flood they wouldn't get impacted by it.
And next time that the electrics go in the house, the first thing we're going to check going to be the alarms. Yeah. Particularly when we've had as much torrential rain as we've had this past week.
So this is a lot of berry stuff here, but let's go with that now.
Berries and lamb.
Sorry?
Berries and lamb.
Berries and lamb, that's the first bag.
Okay.
Out the cars. So we're going to have a lot of just filling stuff up and then deciding, do we want to keep that or use it. So for example, there's a load of blackberries there, which I'll set to one side because I can make some wine with those. And there'll also be things that I'll kind of just decide that actually we're never ever going to eat them. And you know, sorting out the freezer every now and then, it's not a bad move. So what's this? These are more onions, we do want those. But you know, we have got like 2 big bags of courgettes and we just don't eat them anymore. So I think we could relegate those to the compost heap rather than using space up in our neighbours'. We have got important things like black currants. There's a whole load of rhubarb, but this I'm making wine with, so this goes over here underneath the camera. So that's stuff that's going to go into the house.
Okay.
That's stuff that's going to go to the compost heap, because we're not going to eat that.
No.
And then this is more to go up to our neighbours.
Right. And I brought more bags because more bags are always useful.
Yeah. So in there, anything that's meat that you can see can go
In a bag.
go up to the neighbours.
Just let me know when
My fingers are getting a bit cold, that's
Yeah.
why I'm being a bit mimsy. Hello, it's a mighty chilly sub-zero morning, but I'm out in the garden having a look at what's growing. I'm Liz Zorab and this is Byther Farm. For the last 2 autumns I've undertaken a planting project in this what I call the runway here, and I've planted in the autumn of 2021 I planted 1,000 daffodil bulbs, and in 2022 I planted another 1,000. So they run right along the edge of the fencing, and then the second lot in a bit by about 30 to 40 centimetres. And the idea is that over time these will naturalise, and each side of this runway area will then be absolutely lined with daffodils. How beautiful is that going to look in years to come? And here in the first part of our flower field you can see the outline of the raised beds along here that I put in a good year ago now. But so they're wooden raised beds, but nature has kind of reclaimed them. So the ones that I've planted in at the far end are still okay. The ones at this end are very much underneath weeds. I'm going to leave them that way until I'm ready to plant in them. Next to the fencing that encloses this first half of the flower field, which we've put up to deter rabbits, I've planted a hedge of cornus. So these will have these dark, almost not vibrant red, but dark red stems. These plants will get taller and taller, and then I'm going to cut them as a hedge. So I will keep them nice and neat and tidy. A couple of times a year I'll give them a good cut back, and then in the winter they'll have these very colourful stems that will line the edge of this area and give it a really nice framework. This area isn't all ornamental, so there's some food in here too, but this particular corner has got more of the cornus, and then also some silver birch trees, so that in the future we'll have the nice white bark of the silver birch and then the coloured stems, and these ones are of a nice red down here, so that we'll have the red stems with the white bark trees growing up through them. I'm really excited about that happening. Most recently I've planted this magnolia, and it's a variety called Royal Star, and hopefully in years to come this will produce lots of flowers. They're supposed to be pure white flowers. I'm really looking forward to this. And of course magnolia flowers are edible. They have the petals have a mildly gingery taste and can be used to make a really lovely syrup. Hello my lovelies. Hello. Do you think maybe that you should all be up under the trees and getting warm and staying dry? Do you? Hello my darlings. There's quite a thick layer of snow on the ground outside. The ducks are in the barn because of lockdown, because of avian flu. They have to be inside, but I've just brought them some more hay, which I'm just going to spread out in this area. It allows the ducks to be raised up off the floor a little bit. The floor does get quite wet, so it raises them up, keeps them out of that wet and keeps them a bit warmer. So there we go. There's some nice fresh hay for them to sit on. They're not going to come down here while I'm filming, so I'm going to go up to the other end and try and block up a few of the gaps in the doors that are letting a whole whistling cold draft through. Right then you lot, let's get you some fresh water. There you go. Hang on now. Hang on, my friends. Oh, you can hear the ice in it. Yeah. Here you go. Here's some more water. There we go. So that's the ducks sorted for this morning at least. I will, there they are. I'll come back out in a while and make sure that that water hasn't frozen over and give them a top up if needs be. Next I'm going to head up to the sheep field and give them some hay because they can't access the grass when it's covered in snow. And each time I go anywhere near the gate they all run down and look at me as though to say, are you bringing us something? So I think I'd better do that now. And here we are, mid to late afternoon. The snow has stopped for now. We've got some patches of blue sky. While we were feeding the sheep earlier on, there was a very heavy snowfall, and at the same time we had thunder and lightning. That was a very odd thing because I don't associate thunder and lightning to be with snow. But anyway, so that was a good experience, or a different experience. So tonight looks like it's going to be very icy again, but luckily both the sheep, who have their beautiful fleeces on, and us at home are snuggly and warm, and I'm looking forward to being able to get back out in the garden very soon. In the meantime, I'm going to carry on planning what I want in my garden this year, and I'm going to go back and watch a few old videos. If you want to watch the same video as me, I'll leave a link on the screen and in the video description, and if you press on that link it'll take you straight through to the video.